Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis with the Active Trend Traders. Welcome to the Aftermarket Monday. We were not on line last week. On the months that end, that basically have about 5 weekends in them. There's 4 of them per, about 4 of them per year. I like to kind of roll back for a week during that time frame, get a little bit better perspective on what's going on in the market, and just kind of like recoup from what's been going on. So last week was kind of like the March was a 5-week month, and so last week was a time I spent away from the market a little bit. All the materials we do present are for training purposes only. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Our objective on this quick, fast and furious Aftermarket Mondays is 1, quick market review, stocks, ETFs that are potentially setups, what ifs, what else's if we have time for that. The biggest thing in learning how to trade is to have patience, stand back, and respect the rhythm of the market. So some of the ETFs, so you want to write these down, that are looking interesting going into this week, ETFs and stocks, FAS, IWM, and or TNA. And or TZA to the downside, AMAT, WB, EIS, Momo, Nugget, and Dust. Tesla was just upgraded this morning. We have a new, it's upgraded with a projection up to about $360 for the target. If that hits that, our strategy 3 on Tesla will be taking that off for somewhere between a 90 and 100% gain on that. So just remember, there is no holy grail to trading, only tools and rules. And I saw this quote by Tom Sosnoff, who's a really great trader. He says, wealth creation is a derivative of mechanically addressing opportunity. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. So let's get and look at the charts of the indexes. Yeah, last week I had hardly any. The broadband was really poor. And so here's the S&P. The S&P basically is in a short-term downtrend. We just came in and made a lower high here, lower high. And so is it going to basically fall back down to the 50 or below? So we've got a little bit of a channel going on in here. You could also consider this a broadening top, and that our broadening triangle. Those tend to resolve down to the downside. As you can see, prices hung out below the 820 combo. So it's at resistance, and then there's also this downtrend line for resistance there where it popped up to about 2366 this morning, and there's some support down here about 2350. The longer term weekly indicators are showing that it's kind of just melting down, not really falling down, but melting down. NDX, similar type thing. We've got 3 spinning tops in a row on a daily basis. We've got good support down here at 5,400. We've got good one level of resistance at 54.50, and another level of resistance up here at the all-time high of 54.80. As you can see on the weekly chart, we have had a cross in the TSI. Momentum's pointing down. On the market forecast, the longer-term momentum has started to roll over, but again, it's fairly flat, so it's not telegraphing that, hey, we're ready to fall out of the sky here. The other one of interest is the Russell. What's the Russell up to today? Again, a lot of stocks are showing this kind of activity. They basically have worked back up to another swing high, but again, we're getting a similar type pattern here that we had going on the S&P, slightly broadening type channel moving down. Prices stopped, pushed up above the 50, dropped back below the 50, closed just above the 8 today. And so in one way we have to look at that as we had a close above the whole moving average on Friday, another close above it today, but you can tell as it gets close to this resistance level up here at about the 1380 level, it pushes back down. Nothing here really on the TSI. It did cross. However, we are on a weekly chart at support of the 0 line on the weekly TSI, and as you can see, the momentum has kind of flatlined. And again, nothing here to necessarily jump into a trade and or to jump out of a trade at this point. How do we want to trade this? If we're trading IWM, and we'll just start with that. IWM was one of the ones we were looking at, and we've got still got that straddle going on. That's going to get good through the April 20. I think the expiration is about April 27th on that. It's in a position where it can kind of go either way. Once we get a newer high, I like to activate those and pull my trend line back up here, because here's the longer term trend. As we can see, we got support down here at 132. We've got resistance up here at 137. And again, sellers came in to push it back down below the 50 and the 20-day moving average. But we're right close to support about 135. So pay attention to this one in the morning. If we get back above the 50 and then it breaks back down below it, that would be the time to go ahead and sell calls against the IWM position. Mentioned Tesla. Tesla continues to just outperform. News out today is that Tesla is now the capital, cost basis wise is the biggest car company in the United States. Kind of interesting. And I mentioned that there's a measured move here. So we've got this little pattern here, this little cup pattern that come out that it broke out of at 280. Well, we can basically take a measurement from here to here. So that is about whatever that is, or we can take it and just let me remove that and do it the other way because I want to extend it up. So I want it up to about there. So it's about a $45 move. And if we move this up to the breakout level, and we'll just use that. We can either use the 2880 or we can go ahead and pull it on up. That gives us an upside target on Tesla up here about the 332 level. And so it could push up actually with the movement that Tesla does, could actually push up and hit that this week, potentially. The institutions have a price target on this at about 360 and some change. So I just mark that in there. That is right now the measured move. And if you want to, you can just color that a different color than the other ones. Just going to color that and make it, I'm going to make it red. Okay, and that basically is just a highlight to me that if it gets to that level, that could be a good strong level of resistance. So how do we want to play, the other question is how do we want to play Tesla? Well, we did get the breakout above this level here. It has some support just down here around 294, 295 level, and then 280 level. So if it pulls back into the moving averages, blow that up. Let's not do that. There we go. If it moves back down into the moving averages, here's the 8. Here's the 20, and let's say it does a nice little flag pattern, but as you can see on this move up, it's been doing these really kind of real quick flags, 1, 2, 3 days, hit support, and then bounce. So we've got good support, 294, and also stronger support down here at the 281, 280 level. So watch that. I'm not ready to jump into Tesla, whatsoever. I'll be looking at Tesla on an intraday chart for a pullback down around the 8-day moving average for potential selling a put against Tesla. Really quick, going through the rest of what we're looking at. Nugget closed above $10 on a daily chart. Just watch it. Right now it's very much respecting the 8 and the 20-day moving average. We can draw let's get rid of that line and just draw a little trend line. Draw a little trend line across here from here up. So as long as that trend line stays unbroken, expect the nugget to move higher. Now, the last couple of days, it's done these pullbacks into the 8 and the 20-day moving average. You can watch that in the morning if you're interested in getting long on nugget for a potential ride. If it breaks back up and we closed right at $10, if we get a more significant close above $10, we could be looking at somewhere between $10 to $13. So that's a $3 move or a 30% move, and at the midsection you're sitting at about $13.50. So that's what we're looking at on nugget. Again, if you're selling premium against nugget, play it off that combination of moving averages. So if it drops down to somewhere between 968 and 950, that may be a good time to go ahead and sell some puts short to go along with strategy 3. How are we doing here? I'm going to keep watching the time. Nugget, AMAT, talked about that a little bit. AMAT, basing, this is not a real fast mover, but it's a steady mover. And so we've got support down here just below, at the 38 level, or just below the 38 level at 37.84. We did get a close above a green candle above the red dot on Friday. That was held on to today, but it's really close to this resistance where it rejected off the resistance at 39.23. So again, it looks like things want to turn around on a daily chart, but on a weekly chart, we're out of sync a little bit. But still, AMAT, one of the strong performers. WB was very interesting today. We get a green candle above a red dot. Draw in our trend line there. Like I said, a lot of the stocks were looking like this. They've come down, done a little bit of a basing pattern, and are now reversing up. This actually looks pretty good. To get back up to about a 2.5% move back up to the trend line, so that's adequate. And if we get back up to basically the past highs, we're looking at about a 6%. So right now it's right at resistance of the 820, but we're above this line here. And if I'm not mistaken, if we took a trade about there, it's about a 3.7 drop down to this swing low here, and so we could actually take a 5% stop loss, which would put us down here. So again, slow mover, or no, I'm sorry, that was AMAT. So WB looks pretty good. And what does this make? This makes a potential of, well, actually, a higher low. We already had a higher high here to go with this new starting uptrend. So I got 2 more to cover, and then we'll call it a day. Momo. Again, Momo actually broke out today, so watch for any type of pullback back into support at somewhere between 35 and 36. And so it may continue to move higher. It did so on good volume today. And again, those of you who have been following the whole moving average, you can see we get our close, a green candle above a red dot, and then we took off very nicely over the last couple of days. And the last one we'll take a look at EIS, putting in a pennant type of pattern. You can see across here, and we're kind of in no man's land right now. And so just watch, if this support holds, watch for a bounce here to move up. And if we do get a green candle above a red dot or a green dot, then we'd be looking at a potential trade to move back in. This could be a potential higher low. So there you have some stocks to look at for the week. Remember, earnings are coming up, and so on anything you're trading, like here, earnings on EIS is on the 1st of May. So earnings are coming up, so pay attention to that. And other than that, I think we have meet our objective. We kept it to 15 minutes today, and so we're looking at 10 to 15 minutes. Want to highlight some stocks and some what's going on in the indexes, so then we can plan forward for that. So thanks, Eric. Glad to be back. Yeah, I was just sharing with everybody earlier that on the months, about 4 months out of the year, you have a 5-week month, or approximately a 5-week month, 5 weekend. And what I try to do is try to pull aside or pull back for a week during around that month. And it's really good for reflection and basically kind of getting the juices flowing again. So I feel good moving forward, looking forward to, we're getting into that time of year where the seasonality should kick into place. And so anyway, with that, I bid you adieu. Have a great rest of the day. God bless everybody, and stay tuned. If you're a premium member, we'll do training on Wednesday night and then 2 webinars on Friday. Have a great Monday, everybody.